Is this the... Is that the one? I don't know. No, that is not the one. That is not the one. How can I close these? There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, let's set up our recording session, shall we? We shall. All right. Whiskey Wednesday. Oh, did I start the thing? I started the thing. Good. Not a full-blown audiobook. This one will be a Whiskey Wednesday. Now we're going to make a new folder. Let's see here. So this one will be... I'm just going to call it Galactic Beginning. Boom. And then name it. Perfect. There we go. Test. Perfect. Okay. Awesome possum. We're all set up and ready to go. John, hello. How's it going? You're up. You excited? Excited? I say it is one heck of a cliffhanger, too. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's exactly what I like on a Whiskey Wednesday. Gets them right in there, and they're like, oh, yeah, what's next? You're like, buy the book, find out. You know, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's what I like. Troy, hello. Thanks for the likes. We'll wait for a little bit for people to pile in, and then we'll get all started and stuff. Chef Sugar, how's it going? You know, we're on the same page, right? You know, you've been here for enough Whiskey Wednesdays, you know. I was telling Shay last night, that's like my modus operandi, like just cliffhanging everybody. You have, yeah. CSB Tilly, how's it going? And we're actually, right after Whiskey Wednesday, we're going to start the last half of that first story that we started last night, if you were around for that. So we'll finish up the duet portion. And there's a lot more of Shay's characters in it. So, I actually get to hear more of her. That's all right, because like the rest of the stories are all like mainly like female lead characters. So there's going to be a lot of me just sitting there too, like, and then I said this. And then I wait for 10 minutes, you know. Let's see here. Boom. And we're going to do another whiskey tonight, too. It's a mystery whiskey, but we'll look at it. It's going to be a Port's Ass Keg. 110 proof. Single malt Scotch whiskey. All right, we'll see how that is. I've never had this one, so I think it's an Isla, though. So I might like it. We'll see. Right at the very end, you know, get us nice and lubricated, if you will, for the duet right after this, you know. Thank you for the heart there, John. Appreciate you. John is actually the author tonight. And just a quick reminder, too, as everybody piles in, if you type in !book or !author in the chat, it'll give you a little bit of information about both. And if you like the book, that !book will give you a link where you can purchase the book. So you can find out what happens next. And you're going to want to know. Thank you, CSP Tilly, for the heart. Appreciate you. You're going to want to know. You really are. I want to know. I forgot I can do the share thing, too. I think it's that button. Yes, that button. So I can do it like that. And then I can do that. I'll just start hitting random people, right? Boop, 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 until it tells me I can't. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, as I lose everybody. No, don't fall over now. We were doing so good. Oh, what is it stuck on? Oh, like the back half is hanging off the thing. No! Don't fall! There we go. All right, we're stable. We're stable. We're stable. There we go. All right. As I was doing. And then we'll do that. That's it. Okay, I can do 15. There we go. Random peeps. Yes. That's how I roll. Chris, howdy. Howdy. How you doing tonight? Allergies, man. I've been kicking my butt lately. I've been doing the allergy medication stuff. I've been staying inside and out of the sunlight. There's just something that blooms this time of year that messes me up. Kim! How's it going? I'm all phlegmy. So maybe we need the whiskey tonight to, like, burn through some of it, you know what I mean? It's my man 5. That's right. I is here. I are here. We are here to read. Whiskey cures allergies. At least that's my excuse. Exactly. You know, and that's why I partake of whiskey every Wednesday, because it's for health. At least that's what I convince myself. Thanks, Kim. Thank you. Alrighty. This one's going to be good. So if you type in !book in the comments, in the chat, it'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a sci-fi comedy, as you'll see here in a little bit. And we just get the story started in this one. We're going to read through chapter 1. And I think it's a good chapter 1. So it's a good introduction, at least to the character. I think we get a good feel for him. So ropes us right in, as it were, as a good chapter 1 should. You know what I mean? And as you're reading it, and a note for me, I'll try to remember as well as I'm reading it, his AI is pronounced broke, although it's spelled with leet speak. You know, that computer speak stuff them fancy computer fellers like to do, like myself. This is, I must say, as a person that still works in IT, this is kind of a common story. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is what it is, right? I have worked for these types. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So, hits close to home, I must say. Yeah, best. You got it, Chris. You are also a member. Justin, you were summoned because you have one of the most amazing names you could probably ever have. Justin, also another fantastic writer. If you're not following him, please do. Also, another Whiskey Wednesday alumni, as it were. I'll have to come up with like a name for everybody that's been on like Whiskey Wednesday, you know? I was actually thinking about changing it to Scott. That'd be a bad idea. We love you, so you're summoned. Exactly. Whiskey Wednesday reads. Yes. Like a group name, you know? I need to join that group. Yes, you do. Send in your chapter. Doesn't have to be your first chapter. It's a chapter that you think best represents your book, and we'll get people kind of hooked on the book and introduce them to it, like the best chapter you think. Some people send in the introduction, some chapter 1s, and some send both. I think last Whiskey Wednesday we actually read chapter 2 from a romance book, because it was the main male character's point of view in that chapter, so it made sense. But all of that to say, it doesn't have to be your first chapter, but usually, as I read things, as I understand them, very limitedly, usually it's your first chapter that's like your hook anyways, right? That's why I recommend it. What could we call them? The 5-6ers or something? The 4-5-6ers, right? It's kind of long-winded though. The 4-5s? The 5sters? pronounce it wrong on purpose. The Fifis. The Fafes. The Pfeiffers. There we go. On chapter 1 is the worst chapter of the book intentionally. Survive it and you love the rest. I mean, that's a way to look at it too. The 6, 7, you watch that. You watch that. You watch that. But agreed. It's kind of a name, you know what I mean? Where's my son when I need him? Just to cringe at me. Oh, Dad. Oh. I know, son. Every time I say one of your colloquialisms, it's like skibbity toilet, isn't it? I'll cringe for him. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I think we should break into it and start it. Start the thing. Do the thing. Read the chapter. So, Joeseph Maeker, Galactic Beginnings, is the title of this bad mamber jamber. Thank you for the follow there, Leia. That'll never get old. People skip in their toilet. Yes, they do. That's exactly what that means. Correct. You interpreted that correctly. Anyways, yes, one more time, a quick reminder. With most things that I'm reading, I usually try to set up the little commands up there. So if you're interested in the author or the book, and more importantly, where to get it once we finish with this, that's where you can find all that info if you just type that into the chat there. All right, let's get into it. Let's close the door. Let's do it. You might fall. Thank you, One Crafty Crow, for the follow. Oh, that's right. I can do the thing where I can see the chat bigger. Yeah, there we go. Now I can read it. Look at that. Look at that. And oh man, you reached level 17. That is crazy. That's crazy. Look at you guys going. You can read? I can. And it filtered that. It was like, no. Oh, and I can't even unfilter it. But I saw it. I appreciated it. All right, here we go. Just burp out of my system. All right. Quick test. 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 Cool. Loud and clear. Boop, boop, boop. And back to 1. Here we go. Chapter 1. Joeseph Maeker. I need a hero, screamed into the darkness of the bedroom, yanking me from a deep sleep I'd barely entered. As Bonnie crooned more lyrics from the tiny phone speaker, each thumped against unused books and knickknacks, I scrambled to find the phone on my cluttered nightstand. My hand swept past an empty soda can, sending it clattering into a bookend. Nightstand. My hand swept past an empty soda can, sending it clattering into a bookend. The sound rang out not as if. Let's read words that are on the page, Justin. The sound rang out as my wrist pressed through a pile of unopened mail until my fingers finally closed around the phone. I dragged my finger across the screen. Hello? My voice came out with a cracked, weary whisper. The message hit like a fire alarm that had been going off for years. Joe, the network's down. Hundreds of clients, maybe thousands. We need you here now. Yesterday would have been great. I sighed. Same script, different catastrophe. I shut my eyes tighter, sat up with a groan, and shoved the blanket aside. Okay, give me at least 20 to get there. You have tried to reset the switches, right? The voice on the other end was that of my immediate supervisor, Terry Moran, who predictably snapped back, panicked and insulted. If it were that easy, do you think I would be calling? Then the line went dead, the abrupt click a fitting punchline. I pulled the phone away and blinked wearily at the time. 3 a.m. I had only just returned from the data center 4 hours ago. For all that is holy, I muttered as I slowly stood, sharp cracks coming from the joints that were just not ready to be used. A stirring from the other side of the bed, and a gentle yet equally tired voice cut through the darkness. Her tone was a mix of irritation and concern. "Was that your phone?" I grimaced. I had promised to make sure the phone wouldn't wake her in the past. "Sorry for waking you, but yeah, it was. Gotta head in. Probably just another switch reset, but Terry's going apeshit." A yawn, a groan, then a curse. "Perfect. Terry's climbing my shit list again. Tea or just gasoline and a match?" "Thanks, but there's no reason for you to get up. I shouldn't be long." Her response pulled a grin out of me, despite the hour. Her well-known half-asleep zingers always landed. I yanked on the jeans I'd cast aside earlier, dragged a clean black t-shirt over my head, shoved on a hoodie, and hopped into my sneakers by the door. My keys jingled as I grabbed them, while also collecting my multi-tool and flashlight, both always within reach for sudden calls like this. I glanced back. Faye was already gone again, rapidly collapsing into sleep like nothing of the last few minutes had happened. Her raven-black hair framed her face in the dim glow, where the streetlights slipped through the blinds in pale, broken lines. I lingered for a moment, amazed at my luck sometimes, as the now silenced phone buzzed in my hand again and felt that old tug that made every 3 a.m. call feel heavier than it should. An echo from my past call filled my mind. "Don't let Terry kill you," Faye had chimed once, especially after another midnight fire drill. Maybe half a joke, but more than likely not. Asking for a raise after this one, it just climbed higher on the to-do list for Monday. I slipped out the bedroom door, my footsteps too loud, every echo chasing me down the dark hallway. I silently opened and closed the front door as the weight of the night started to press in as I got into my truck. My mind was already racing on what could have happened, how it could be fixed, and how I could train Terry not to have to call me in every time. Inflection sucked. Poopy crap. Do it again. Let's try it again, shall we? My mind was already racing on what could have happened, how it could be fixed, and how I could train Terry not to have to call me in every time. Reflections of rain started to filter through my headlights, and I reached over to turn on the radio. On to catch the forecast. The stereo sputtered with a bit of static before a voice broke through. A radio host on a caffeine high came on, his energy level way too high for this time of the morning. A radio host on a caffeine high came on, his energy level way too high for this time of the morning. "And scientists are calling it a potential spatial anomaly. Morning. And scientists are calling it a potential spatial anomaly. Could it be a wormhole, a tear in the fabric of reality itself, or just another weather balloon? In the coming hour, we'll discuss the possibilities right after we hear from our local sponsors." I gave a quick glance at the radio. Yeah, sure. Right after the break. Maybe lay off the caffeine and conspiracy theories for the rest of your life. After a couple of commercials tantalizing you with pills to improve your potency in the bedroom, the radio host went on. "Experts warn this anomaly could be moving across the area at an alarming rate. I'm looking at some satellite imagery right now showing some disturbances that have already happened on the East Coast, and they are fast approaching us here in the Seattle area." The radio host went on. "It is too early to say what may have happened over there. Reports are spotty at best, but if it is indeed a portal, who knows what or who might come through?" I snorted, shaking my head. "Oh, sure. Conspiracy theories. Why not throw in aliens while we're at it?" Outside, the streetlights lining the sides of the road started to flicker as I passed under them. Then the rain really started to come down. It looked like it was just a storm after all, and not some hyped-up disc jockey's imagination gone wild. Something hung in the air, bending the edges of what I thought was real. Did I read that wrong? No, I did right. Okay. Bending the edges of what I thought was real. More likely, it was just exhaustion playing tricks again. The turnoff for the industrial complex where the data center was located came up fast. The bunker-like facility sat behind 2 layers of fences that I had to badge through first. I eased the car into park just as the rain thickened into a steady drumbeat. This was just not my night at all. I snagged my go bag, packed with a change of clothes, and the jury-rigged network analyzer I built out of an old phone. I called the tiny AI Broke, mainly because its entire purpose was patching up what humans had spectacularly broken. I flipped up my hoodie, braced for the rain, and bolted for the building's entrance, keycard in hand. Swiping the magnetic reader, its red light blinked green, and I pulled open the door. Inside the unused reception area, I dropped my hood, shook off rain, and hustled past the empty, dust-covered desk where the phone system's lonely status light blinked in the gloom. The door leading to the center had one more layer of security. I took off my glasses for the retinal scan as another door clicked open. This time, Terry was waiting directly behind it, his foot tapping out a rhythm on the hollow floor tiles. The noise of fans from the servers, network devices, and air conditioning thundered throughout the room. "It's about time!" Terry shouted, face flushed and eyes darting between screens. "Nothing's working! The whole network's gone! We've got hundreds of clients waiting! You have to handle this!" I shed my drenched hoodie. I didn't need to add more problems to the ones already piling up. I dug into my bag and pulled out Broke, booting it up. So chilled to the bone from the rain and the blast of air conditioning, Nope, still not so. I think I said so. Yep, I did. Do it again. Read the right word. Booting it up. Still chilled to the bone from the rain and the blast of air conditioning, I fished out a light coat and shrugged it on. "Relax, Terry. Let's see what is broken first." I watched Broke's screen as it booted, and a few seconds later, it was speaking to me through the earpiece I had just put in. "Good morning, Joe. It seems we have multiple issues. Analyzing now." The little computer screen flashed through screens. Nope. I said screen twice. The little... Oh. Oh. The little computer flashed through screens, moving from switch to switch and catching issues as they surfaced. Broke started to show which ports were dropping packets, which lines had been tampered with, or more accurately, abused by Terry. The little AI prompted me... The little AI prompted me to switch after switch, as we reset switches and rerouted certain cables that had been, well, misplaced. "It seems that switch number 12 is in need of replacement," Broke reported. Its voice sounded a bit peeved, but that could have just been my hearing. "Recommend realignment of the user who broke it." "Noted," I breathed, switching the cables attached to 12 of the backup. Boop, 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 boop. Try that again. I breathed, switching the cables attached to 12 to the backup switch just underneath it. No, this is him. Just underneath it. The 2 silos of system collapse. Idiots and managers. Step by step, rack by rack, the system started to stabilize. Terry exhaled as if he had just completed the 26th mile of a marathon. I leaned against the last rack, my hair matted to my head, and allowed myself a small congratulatory chuckle as the system hummed like it was supposed to again. The uneasy feeling came back to me, as I remembered the insane radio host bleating on about that spatial anomaly conspiracy theory. His pseudoscience ramblings clashed with the practical world of switches, RJ-45, and fiber. It was weird how the universe could throw one ridiculous mundane problem at you while you were dealing with what you consider normal. Terry stepped over. His jawline seemed more relaxed now. "Joe, I trust you've got this, but I need you to keep monitoring the network for a little while. Just make sure nothing else goes sideways." I groaned inwardly. Really? Perfect. Another hour soaking in fluorescent light and fan noise. Thrilling. "Seriously, Joe," he replied, gesturing helplessly toward the thousands of blinking lights among the racks. "Joe," he replied, gesturing helplessly toward the thousands of blinking lights among the racks. "Dryer. I will monitor the network for the next hour or so." Terry nodded and went over to a desk. As I entered the locker room, though, I heard the main door of the server room open and shut. "Terry has left the building," reported Broke. My temper flared as I breathed out. That motherfucker! The locker room across the hall from the server room was quiet. The thunderous roar of fans and servers replaced by the slight hum of fluorescent bulbs. I set my bag down on the bench in front of the lockers and pulled out a pair of boots, fresh socks, and some clean cargo pants. I changed my pants, tossing the wet sweats into the duffel bag, and brought out a small towel. Using the towel from the bag, I dried off my feet as best I could and put on the dry socks and boots. Have you ever noticed how brand new socks can make you feel? Especially after spending the last 40 minutes in wet ones. Broke's voice came through my earpiece. "It would seem that switch 12 has started to glitch again." My eyebrows furrowed. "That is not possible. We bypassed 12. It should not even be in the loop anymore." "Nevertheless," Broke's voice sounded a bit annoyed at being told it was wrong, "it is reporting on the network." I hurriedly tied my boots, ran the small towel through my wet hair to dry it somewhat, and walked to the door. As I walked into the hallway, darkness swallowed the main lights, leaving only the faint, harsh red of emergency lighting. Oh, fuck, we are on backup generators! I sprinted down the hallway, and at the door, a flicker in the corner of my eye made me freeze. The backup lights. Going out too? I yanked the door open into the server room, and a searing flash ripped through my vision. Pain exploded my skull as the light stretched and warped, stretching into impossible infinity, and something pulled me, dragged me through the doorway like I weighed nothing. Beep, beep, beep. And it's over. And it's over. It's over, guys. That was chapter 1. Again, if you'd like to know a little bit more about the book, and you might want to pick up a copy so you can see how it finishes and what happens and what was that searing light, and did he get the server back on? Did he tell his boss to go F himself? Did he get that raise? Well, check out the link if you type in book in chat there, and you can figure out exactly what happens next. Are we drinking more whiskey? I missed that part. We're going to dive into more whiskey now. All right, let me catch up on chat. Okay. Oh, somebody typed in book. Good. I hate when my screens flash through screens. Yeah, me too, right? Oh, weird. Is it fixed or still doing it? Doing what? I don't know. Screen flashing through screen. There we go. Don't you dare. Oh, I did. Chef Sugar. Oh, I did. I did it hard. The author, I think also, unless he thought that was incredibly terrible and left as a result, might still be in chat there. So if you have any questions, ask away. No, he's there. Oh, he dared. He did dare. 24-hour live. Kim, you want me to suffer. I think we finally hit the nail on the head there. We figured you out. You just want me to suffer. 20. I don't even. How many hours would my voice last? I think I've narrated for 6 hours straight once, and it was not pretty by the end. I think I ended up redoing a couple chapters. My voice was really croaky. Tasha, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. I think that's it. I think we just figured out Kim. All right, let's break into the whiskey for the Whiskey Wednesday. What are you all drinking tonight? Doesn't have to be whiskey. Could be anything. I keep bringing up hot chocolate because that sounds really good to me. Kim is just having her morning coffee, so she's ready. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like noon or something there, isn't it? In Australia, where all the better writers print a lot of little letters. Right? Isn't that where it goes? All right, so we finished off our sampler, our mystery sampler. This is our last one. And it's Port Askeag, and it's an Islay, and it's 110 proof, single malt Scotch whiskey. So since it's an Islay, I should like it. We'll see. And more importantly, what are we supposed to taste? What does it say? Hey, but that's when you invite us up to chat, so you can read. Yeah, well, okay, that's true. I don't know if I can make it 24 hours of that, but 11:30 a.m. So I've had 2 coffees. All right. Yeah, I've usually had about at least 2 cups of coffee by then, like big cups, like that big Darth Vader mug. All right. So what are we supposed to taste? So first, it's supposed to be smoky. It's a good start. Then sweet, then spicy. Then cinnamon, interesting, then apple, then cloves, and then peaty, licorice, I think the black licorice kind, so that might turn some of you off right there. Then savory, whatever that's supposed to mean. Peaty, does anybody know what peaty means in a Scotch? I learned this a while ago. It was like peaty, that kind of sounds like peat moss, right? Like not like actual peat moss, right? No, actual peat moss. So where they have their distillery in Scotland, they'll go out and they'll grab peat moss and they'll toss it into the top of their little fireplace basically to dry out all the grain, and it absorbs a lot of that flavor from the peat moss. So peaty actually does refer to peat moss, and it will taste different depending on what area of Scotland it is from, because it'll be different peat moss. Thanks, Justin. You are welcome, John. You are welcome. Yeah, not a fan of the black licorice, huh? That's okay. I can tell you, just right here, I can smell the smokiness. Woo! Smoky, smoky, smoky. And I don't get any sweetness or anything else. So let's just taste it and be done with it, right? Wow. Wow, that is smoky. And peaty. There's the burn. Yeah, I'm not getting much sweetness from it, honestly. I like it, but it's like a good mix between, what did we have last time? We had, no, it wasn't that one. Yeah, Tullibardine or whatever. It's kind of like a cross between that one and almost halfway to the Lagavulin, the really, really grandpa's Scotch turpentine kind of flavor, and thrown in there for shits and giggles and fun, But it's not as astringent as that, so it's halfway in between the two. So it'd be a good stepping stone whiskey up to an Ardbeg or something like that, It's got that really scotchy flavor. But it's not bad. It's not bad. It is definitely higher proof, though. I can feel that burn for sure. More importantly, what have we got going on coming up here next time? And John, I will be probably tonight, if not tonight, definitely tomorrow. I'll be fast tracking this recording for you into your promo file because I will be leaving next week and be gone all next week. I'll be leaving on this weekend and be gone all next week. So I will fast track that to you. So I'll shoot you an email with the finished file here very soon. Importantly, as I was saying, let me get to that before I forget, because I do it all the time. Next Whiskey Wednesday will not be, as I was saying, it will not be next week because I'll be gone for the whole week. But when we return on the 22nd for the next Whiskey Wednesday, it will be Bryce Chandler's Whiskey Jack. What a fitting book for when we return for Whiskey Wednesday. You know what I mean? And what is it? I don't know. I didn't jot down any of the other information, but it's called Whiskey Jack, so that's all we need, right? That's right. Yes, I know. No Whiskey Wednesday next week. I'll be gone at Audiobooks at Sea, actually, where I will be learning the craft of how to perform audiobooks. It's full of a whole bunch of workshops on everything related to basically audiobooks and how to make yourself better, right? Basically acting classes all week while on a cruise in the Caribbean. What could be better? And I'm incredibly fucking nervous because you get lined up with 4 people to read to in a small room. So it's you and like 4 or 5 other people, and you get to read for them. 2 of those people will be people from like some place that does casting for audiobooks, and the other 2 are coaches. One of the coaches I have to read for is like my audiobook frickin' idol, Ray Porter, because he's going to be there like teaching some classes and stuff, and I get to read for him, and I'm frickin' terrified, you know? It's like one of those things in the back of my mind. I know it's going to be okay, but there's like this thing that's like, what if Ray Porter hates you? You know, it's that little voice, right? Like, I don't want him to hate me. Don't hate me, Ray Porter. I love